rock and roll. Evening, everybody. Welcome to this very special Shenmue Dojo stream. As ever, before I tell you what we're doing, I have James Brown with me. How's it going, man?
Going all right, dude. How are you doing?
Yeah, very good. I'm excited to be here tonight. Clues in the title, if you haven't seen it already. James is going to talk us through the history of this in a minute. But we have the GameJam build, the beta from Shenmue 2. So this has been sort of sought after for a very, very long time. Ended up on the open market. Luckily, it's ended up in the hands of the community. And we have it here tonight to show off a little bit, talk about some of the history and the people involved, show some cutscenes off, differences, the works. We're really excited to dive in. But before we sort of dive into the nitty gritty, James, do you want to give us a history lesson around this build and how it actually came to be?
Right. Okay. So this is obviously a build that they've shown at a game conference called GameJam. This was back in 2001. So these discs, actually prototype discs, only really used for like, showing off the game at events like this, or use with like Dreamcast dev kits and these sort of things. They're not really typical, hard to get your hands on because they're really in the hands of game developers, Dreamcast developers. So these discs wound up on Yahoo Japan auctions. I'm sure you're all aware. You've seen, maybe if you follow us on the forums or whatever, you've seen people chatting about them, wanting to get a hold of them. And they were brought to my attention, and there's a guy, I don't know if he's in the chat, but Laurent, who is, I think his name's Sega Dreamcast Info on Twitter, and he tends to go for these prototype discs if he can, because he's got the means, the tools, the abilities. He knows what he's doing with regards to these prototype discs and how he can release them to the public, because obviously this is cherished information that people want, proper history pieces around that.
Definitely.
That, obviously it's not on the level of like the Saturn version of Shenmue, that is
yet,
like the
not yet.
Up here tier, but this is a really cool one actually. And we weren't aware what would end up being on these discs. Not really much information was out there on what this build was. It's very hard to see footage of GameJam at the event. I think there's a few photos. I'm not sure if anyone attended who's in the chat right now. That would be a bit random, possibly. I don't know. But yeah, so we're going to get into it at some point and show you off all the cool things that are part of this build. But I will mention briefly about the team involved. So like I say, Laurent is the guy that he's got, as soon as the stream's done, you'll see I'll put a link to his page that's going to have the release, and honestly it's like an essay.
Yeah,
he's got
massive, really, really detailed breakdown of all of this. It's fantastic.
Yeah, he goes like all the way back to the very start of Shenmue, even, what led to this prototype being created, and then just all of the intricacies, the details involved with this disc, how you can go about some of the debug menus and stuff that's involved, some of the comparisons with the final released game, and just a mountain of stuff. And we don't want to spoil too much at the moment, so hopefully you can all stick around and see exactly what is on this disc. But I was going to mention the name. So that's Lawrence, sorry. He's the guy that's got the webpage that I'm going to give you at the end of the stream. Lemon Hayes is the guy that's done the majority of the work on this, reverse engineering if needs be, finding out how to unlock the debug menu and stuff like that's going to help us show a few things off in the stream tonight, and a few things that when you get these copies in your hands, what you can actually do with them. Safarad also involved, also helped out with a lot of the coding aspect and just trying to determine what is actually different with these discs compared to the final release. Obviously there's a lot of code and a lot of information, so these are the top tier guys involved on that front. You've got a guy called Anichi. I'm not sure who that was. Apologies. He wasn't in the group that I was a part of. And of course, Switch for his expertise, assistance in translating and stuff. So, Matt, I mean, if you want to start off,
let's crack this open. So, just for sort of transparency purposes, I'm running it through Demule, just to make everybody aware of that. I haven't got the means to hook it up to my Dreamcast, up to my system, so There we go. Just looking in chat before we sort of dive in. The auction, it did go quite cheap actually in terms of sort of Dreamcast or certainly Shenmue beta discs. They tend to go for a lot of money, but this was on the lower end, if there is a lower end for these sorts of things. But
yeah, still a significant chunk of money.
Yeah, still quite a chunk of money. Right, let's pull Daniel up.
But yeah, we knew we had to save this disc, because if it falls into the wrong hands, you may never see what you're about to see.
Yeah.
But at the moment, obviously, we're going to be releasing this to everyone.
So the text is all in Japanese, just to make people aware of that. So there's a little bit of guesswork here. But what I'm going to do first and foremost is I'm just going to let the prophecy play out. And there's a very, very good reason for that. And I'll be flicking between this and also Lawrence's website to pick up some bits and pieces and little specifics here and there as well, because I think it'll give us a good bit of background. But I'm really pumped to be getting involved with this and showing this off for the first time. This is.
Hope you'll enjoy what you're about to see.
This is a real moment for the community, actually. This sort of build, and we're getting closer and closer to the sort of the early development stuff. So God knows what's still out there as well, and what could be on here that we haven't discovered yet.
True.
And let's see if anybody notices anything around this.
Yeah. What I will say, to look out for are different camera angles, different shots, different. I mean, this whole prophecy is pretty much completely different. To be fair.
そのもの、東の凸国より海を渡りて現れり。
There's some bits
若者、
that you'll see out of
姫
the
し力を
different
未だ知らず。かのみ
differences that
滅ぼす
I
こと
think I
も、
prefer as well.
かの願い、叶え
it's,
しことも。
it's strange that they went back to the drawing board and certain.
そのもの、
Because this
い
is
さに
quite,
立
this
つと
is quite late on as well.
我を
When you
求
think
め
of the development cycle and how close to
共に
release
あれのの
this
道を
was, and they
行か
like
ん。
redid it all.
待ちて願え。開口は我の古よりの定めなり。地より現れし竜が黒雲をいざない。
You know,
天を覆う
you can
も。
definitely tell it's a prototype.
前より四方を。
Yeah, there's some
その
glitches and
翼に
stuff
より
still,
て
but
四
if you'd
風を生
divined
む
it
がご
out,
とく。
I really
漆
like
黒の
this.
世は広がりしも。
it's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
明星は一つ。燦爛と輝く。
Don't know if she was about to get hit by an eagle then.
So there you go. That's a little bit of a difference there from the original prophecy,
So if-
the prophecy trailer that we know and love.
Yeah, so what we were going to do was we're going to show the cutscene full screen like that, or as close to full screen, and then we're going to show the comparison now
Yes.
with what is the actual final release of the game.
So let me just shut down.
Yeah, I was going to ask about the audio levels actually. So Spag says the more audio might need putting down a touch.
No problem. I can sort that in a minute. Right, let me just pause Daniel for a minute. That's fine. So let me just pull up my web capture. So let's go all the way to the top. So we're going to be working through Lawrence's page as we go. So there's lots and lots on here. When this
There's
is all
loads
released
to get
later,
through.
it's massive. It's absolutely huge. Right, here's the intro. So let's pull this up. That's the unused. Have we got a comparison shot on here? Or am I making that up? That's the unused one. I don't know if we've got a comparison one knocking around. Let me check my folders. I don't think we do. Right, never mind.
Okay.
Never mind. We'll
That's
jump.
probably the only one that we haven't done.
Yeah, it's probably the
Yeah.
only one we haven't got. But that doesn't matter. We'll then dive straight into Daniel. Spags was saying turn the volume down ever so slightly. So let's do that first. Let's unpause that. And let's... When I get some audio back, we'll see if it's too loud or not. Right. My controller's working.
What video files have you got then, Matt? Have you got comparisons of the next bits?
Lawrence sent me some bits and pieces over. So, straight into a new game. We're going into the opening scenes. So again, just have a watch of this. Tell me if the audio's too loud, by the way. I'll turn it down if it needs to be.
I probably don't need to point stuff out, but straight away.
How's that now? I've turned it down a little bit more.
Random boats. Look in the distance, guys. They're very old-fashioned Hong Kong boats. The sails on.
This is surreal, isn't it? Seeing this.
To think, like, at this point in time, this was Shenmue 2.
Yeah, this is the game. Like, this was not far off release. Look at the boats floating on the air.
Yeah.
Yeah, no chapter 2, but this is surreal though. Like, obviously we've been talking about this behind the scenes, but it's still surreal seeing this. Oh, boat popped in there.
So that's where the title would be,
Yeah.
I guess. The point.
Bit of a glitch there.
It's strange, I think, that they, the introduction to the game was like, must have been one of the last things they worked on. Because the whole game...
Those boats are different that you just saw.
Yeah,
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump over you.
Oh, those are the green ones, yeah, but the whole game is completely playable. So...
What's the date of this build? Do we know?
So, obviously it was shown off in April 2001 at GameJam, but the guys behind the scenes performed an analysis of the contents of the prototype. The build was created on November the 6th, 2000.
Yeah, no bag jibby, exactly. So it's what, around a year just before it's released?
So while they're saying roughly between 3 and 9 months before the final Japanese version that was released on July the 16th. So what they're saying there is the build was created on the 6th of November 2000, but the last files to be modified on the discs were April the 14th. So anywhere between 3 to 9 months is where this game's at, if you know what I mean, before it was actually released.
So
you can still see the sailboats in the distance as well.
And I do a quick walk around of the area, then I'll do the comparison to what we know.
Yep. And you'll notice there's bits and pieces there's fully voiced dialogue in places, and then just text in others where they haven't actually got around to either implementing the voiceover. I would have assumed the voiceover was done at this point, or maybe it was still being worked on, I'm not sure, but the actual implementation of like where the voice recordings went for the characters, you find like just interacting with NPCs, there's like no dialogue.
It's strange walking around because you expect the voices, don't you? You're like,
yeah, that's true, BCDC, yeah. This was being worked on before the UK even got Shenmue 1
have a quick look
in this state.
You can see some of the boats in the background, as James just said.
Yeah, and you'll see like some of the buildings got a lot of pop in. It's like they hadn't finalised stuff that was going to load in.
It hasn't been like completely optimised, has it? It chugs at some points as well. That could be the emulator as well.
And there's stuff like that there. There was the little lady and the girl there that was like right behind that guy that normally wouldn't be there. There's just very subtle differences that probably only a massive Shenmue fan would realistically tell. You know, you've got things like different signage, different maps.
Yeah.
When one gives you the hand-drawn map in a minute, it's like a beta version of that. One of the funny things, I don't know if we'll see it, but later on, you know, when Shuing's crying over the photo of her brother, like her and her brother, she's holding the photograph. In this build, it's if you've ever seen the cartoon drawing of her and her brother, like I'm guessing like Kenji Miyawaki concept art for that photograph, that's what is actually being used in this, which is quite funny.
Let me pause this for a minute and let's pull up my web browser again, and we'll look at the actual comparison between the intro, if it's on here. If not, I will pull it up on my...
The intro one is, mate. Yeah, I've just seen it.
How far up is it?
It is...
Thanks for the follow, by the way.
If you keep scrolling down past this and get to the differences...
Here we are. Here we go. Right. So this is the opening cutscene that we've just seen. So I'm going to whack this up on the screen.
So ignore the dates there, I think. Lawrence, he says 2000, but it's 2001.
Yeah.
You can see straight away the colour of the water.
The water's
There's a plane on the plane that isn't there. The actual Hong Kong skyscrapers and stuff are a lot more produced in the final version. Yeah, no credits on the screen, obviously. There's a couple of newish things that we'll get to in a bit, guys. Don't worry. Smoke coming out the boat, there isn't there.
Different texture on the boat there.
It's weird how it's gone from these stages, isn't it? Because it's not particularly bare bones. The prototype isn't like bare bones.
No, it's fairly, far away. It's fairly quite a way along, isn't it, at this point?
Yeah. But when you see it to the final, there was still a lot that they worked on. Yeah. Just a 2D image in the background. And little sailboats and stuff.
Exactly, Chippy. The core elements are here. It's just obviously not finished.
I don't know what's happening where it's like pulls out the cutscene.
You look at the difference of the boat, like where Rio gets off the boat and everything, and the boat pulling in. That's very different, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, that's true, sheep. Day one patch.
Day one patch, yeah. Most publishers would release it in this state. And it sort of pans off out into the distance.
See, I didn't even notice that doesn't happen. So there
we go. There's that bit. But on the website, when we sort of get through it all, you can look. There's loads of them. I mean,
yeah.
I won't play them all now.
But there's cutscenes. I mean, this one in particular, that's that third one down, Matt. It's like the front of the what's it called? The Guang Martial Arts School or whatever.
Let's play it. Fuck it. Let's play it.
You can play it, but I think the main difference here was that I was mentioning a little bit earlier. The voiceover's not been finished. In places, it sounds like maybe the devs have supplied voices because it doesn't sound like Matsukaze-san. And the audio sounds really rough in places. So it is like they were just testing scenes, so they just recorded dialogue just to have a better impression of what that scene would look like. But you can play it, Matt, if you like. Yeah.
Let's have a quick play of it and then.
葉月さん、あなたは修繕先生のところにいた。熱心です。先日はどうも。先生があなたにお会いしたがってました。修繕先生が。ええ、時間があればぜひお立ち寄りください。
So there's a little bit of camera difference there as well. Lauren, if you're still around, are we all right to share the link to the page, or are we holding fire on that until the stream's finished? Because there's a few people asking.
I'd probably say the end of the stream, just because I think at the moment it's still password protected.
Yeah, okay, no problem. No problem. Right, so in the background, I'm now going to start diving in to the debug itself. So let's just stop Demule. Let's restart it with... where are we starting with the debug?
What was the plan? Let me have a look.
Where are we going to start?
Oh, did you want to show off the rooftop?
Yeah,
The free walking rooftop area.
Let's show that off. So we're now entering the debug bit. So Lemon, what he's done, he's put a debug menu in for us, so we can find the flags as we want to go, which is fantastic. Makes life a lot easier. So let me just open her up. Background, run Dreamcast. Right, let me get what I want.
So while Matt's doing this, so Lemon's he's done a document for us that it goes into, it's kind of like layman's terms, but it's still very technical. I'm not sure if you're all interested in this kind of thing, but basically what this beta, sorry, I don't know the pronunciation of that. So it didn't come with a debug menu enabled by default. So Lemon's managed to he's done it in the past, so he knew exactly what he needed to do to re-enable this debug menu that you can see on the screen. Just allows him to quickly go through areas and test stuff and see if Meow Village was there and that sort of thing.
It's not, but the loading screen is. I'll show that in a minute.
Yeah. Okay, man.
So this is the rooftop. If it loads properly for me. It may.
So there's a ton of stuff that Lemon's gone off and worked on. Event scripting he's got here.
So I'm looking at now is the rooftop area. So no Dol Neo, nothing, but we can sort of explore this at our leisure now.
That's Sky.
And then if we look down here, let me just, excuse me for a second. Yeah, all good, Shenworld. How's it going, man?
Yeah, all good, thanks, man.
And then I've just walked into the building, and it boots you down to the 5th floor.
Right, you can chat to that guy on that.
You can.
For
some reason,
I don't think he says anything really.
A bit too far.
Oh, it's dark, is it? Pitch black.
Pitch black and buggered.
Pretty cool. The next one, Matt, you'd have to load disc 4.
Let's load disc 4 then. There will be a lot of us sort of chopping and changing between discs, everybody, so just bear with us as we work. Anyway, who can't get enough of the old... Oh, Demiel's having a bit of a spaz. Let me redo it because it's playing up.
Yeah, I've walked into the void of floor 5.
There we are, that's better. Anyway, who can't get enough of the old Dreamcast sound repeatedly? So we're going to be hearing that a lot tonight.
Yeah, man, for sure. Classic demo.
Yeah. I actually tried it in Redream, but it's unstable as hell. Like, it'd work, and then it'd stop working, then run at like 8 times speed. It's really weird. Really, really weird. Right, what are we going for?
So the next one, try KWA2.
KWA2. So this is Deep Green Way.
So apparently you can free roam around the pond here.
Here we are. There's no collision detection on this, so I can literally just run around through the building. But anyway, let's go actually explore it properly. So yeah, so we can explore the pond here, so where this cutscene takes place.
Yeah, so like when we give out this web link at the end, there's like a whole list of all these different scenes.
Yeah, like lots and lots.
I was just reading through a few, and there's like a few things I thought I would like to see, like the rooftop and like this whole thing. But there's like just tons of subtle differences Matt will get them up in a second again in a minute. But you'll find a lot, if you've played through Shenmue 2 a load like yourself, you'll see stuff as it's happening as you play through the game if you plan to play through this build. So you'll see like differences in the camera work and the cutscenes and stuff. Is this the pond that changes colour?
It might be. But the build is fully playable. So the one with the, if you want to play it right properly, download the version without the debug menu. You can actually play the game. Just play it as it is in that build. It's all fully playable, minus obviously some bits and pieces that obviously we've just talked about. So that's Deep Green Way. Let's go for our next one. Let me reset.
Is there anything in particular you wanted back? Because the other one I got was KWA1, but that was just, again, that's just another no collision path in Guilin.
KWA1, let's do it.
There's stuff you can jump to,
So
cutscenes we can cut to if you like.
There we are. Sakara's just clarified some bits around the build for everybody. So again, this is just like a small area. The cutscene stuff I was having problems with earlier. Daniel didn't like them. But we can give
the cutscene ones.
Yeah, we can
We'll
give
try
some
one.
a go. Right, what disc do we want?
Try and find something that's...
See, we are going to play something through later. Don't panic, guys. We've got a very special ending to all of this. A very special build that is absolutely brilliant.
There's just very real subtle differences in a lot of these. Get up some of these videos from his website.
Right, let's pull the website up because I can leave Daniel in the background for a minute. So let's go back onto the website. Right, that should be popping up for everybody now.
There you go. Just under this heading, the differences here. Just scroll down here and then.
So here, for example, the prototype from GameJam with the lighter. If I bring that up, it's ever so slightly different. And then
I also think it's crazy that it's how did they keep playing through the game over and over, and someone he's got his hand covering the thing. You know, when do they spot the mistake? Or because as you'll see as Matt goes through this page, there's like loads of spelling mistakes, loading screens that are unfinished. Yeah, great herd medicine.
Yeah. On disc 3 here, you've got the coins are unfinished.
The helicopter is just above as well. It's just, in fact, I don't know if you could load into that helicopter cutscene, but
it's got no textures or anything. I can try loading into it in a minute if you like. You've got no textures or anything. Coming a bit further down.
Just below that, there's a couple of videos below that. There's like one of Shuing. That might be the one I was on about, where she's looking at a photograph. On the left, the one above. Try that.
Try this one. Oh, this is the leaving video.
Okay.
Let's watch it.
But you can see just like again, subtle. There's actually more clouds in the sky. Is that just the weather, maybe? Time of weather.
That's interesting. That he puts his bag down there.
Yeah, he does in the prototype.
Yeah.
Oh, she had the blurry arms at least.
Yeah. This scene looks like fairly finished, doesn't it?
Yeah, some scenes have got like very, very minor differences. This could be one of the very minor ones.
I don't know if the clouds were removed or it's just the weather, but
That's interesting. The video below the one you were looking at, rather unfinished. It's because as I was playing for the game myself, I couldn't unlock the duck racing, so that was obviously something that was put in after. I couldn't unlock mainly because Eileen doesn't show up. So because Eileen's not there, unless there's a different prerequisite in the beta, but I couldn't get to the birthday scene either. But Laurent has got a video here of like the brooch. Fang Mei with the brooch.
Oh, excuse me.
八極拳八大将の一つ援護
They might not have removed the clouds. It might just be like a weather time of day weather thing. Spin 5. Yeah. Rio getting his bag off is unnecessary.
それに献血
I
が
wonder why
書か
they
れ
did
ている
change that. That's weird, isn't it?
受け取りたまえ
I've got this one. I won't play all of it because it's quite a long video, but I'll skip.
You can see as you're going through the very subtle differences between the.
I do like how his bag has appeared by his
行
feet
くのね
after
Hi.
putting it down by
Yeah.
the gate.
蘭亭は経理に向かって
Maybe that's why then.
経理
Like, we're gonna have to get rid of that because he puts it down by the gate and he didn't actually.
これを
これは
周英これ見てごらん
I do think it's crazy, like how far along they were with stuff like this. Yet
Yeah.
they hadn't, finished the.
いいから
The intro?
手を出しな
Right, let's stop that there for a minute. I don't want to spoil too much. Another thing I've got here is the maps are different.
Mhm.
So that's the map in the beta.
Mhm.
And then that's what's in the final version.
So I just assumed that they had to either be a bit more precise by showing like Kowloon, Guilin, or Hong Kong Guilin, or whatever it was, or they were like literally using an atlas map by the looks of it.
We've got a nice comparison here of the ending, but I'll show that later. And the Shenmue tree bits.
The
and
Land
pieces.
D video is like the bad ending. So basically, what they missed was the lighting from the mirror. You know,
So-
it makes Rio's face glow red. That isn't in the
I'll show it.
prototype. Not too many differences.
Or is that the tree falling? I've just shown. I think I just put the tree falling one up.
Yeah, it's easy to show you the video comparisons like this actually at
Yeah.
the moment.
Like how everyone
Oh,
just
they made
stands
it-
there.
Yeah, they made it really clear about the tree, didn't they? In the squashy Shenmue.
That's that one.
A little bit lower mark. There's like a lot more images as well, which
Yeah,
are pretty
there's
cool.
tons of images here. So I'll sort of take a selection of them. So this is in the beta. And then
Yeah, and if you notice, like on the webpage there, you've got all the debug codes as well. If you want to like directly go straight to these
yeah,
things.
so they're all here if you want to look at them yourself. King's Road is different, so King Street here. And then King's Road.
Yeah, apparently someone must have been annoyed. You can't call it King Street. It's got to be King's Road.
I like this one. So this is in the beta, the map of where
That's the Wong map I was
the
talking
Wong
about.
map
Yeah.
come over guest house, and then the final version.
Again, you know, did they need to make that change? I don't know. It's a kid's drawing. That the interesting one there, Matt. The Joy's motorbike. Don't know if you're there yet.
Here we are.
So originally the wing mirrors were red
Yeah.
as well.
Just there. And then, obviously, the final version, they changed the wing mirrors for whatever reason. I don't know why.
I know it's modelled after an actual motorbike, isn't it? The Blackbird or something.
This is interesting next to it, look. Rio's got his bag here.
Mm.
And then here.
And they're selling, that was what the point was there, where they were selling Fabergé eggs or something.
And then, I mean, there's literally, if you look here, so this is the Yellowhead building. You can actually go down the stairs here. I can generate into that. You can go down the stairs into the building and look around.
Yeah. So for some reason, I don't know if they forgot to block them off or...
And then in the final version, you can see it's blocked off. Hey, son. And
Yeah,
then,
son.
I mean, there's hundreds to go. I'll go over one more. And then you've got a placeholder map here. It's quite high res,
Everyone's
actually,
doing that right
isn't
now.
it? High res map.
Is that even in the game?
I don't think
Golden
it is.
area.
And then the final version is obviously this one.
That's it, isn't it? It was like they went back and checked every single pixel. Because at some point they've applied whatever they've applied. So like the red handlebar things on Joey's bike, and then at some point they've gone, maybe they should be black. I don't know who's made that decision. Same with the barrels. There's a screenshot here of barrels.
Yeah.
So someone's placed barrels, and then they've thought, oh well, they should be a mix of red and
DOS house. Yep.
Yeah. So these are the loading screen names.
Some of them.
Just crazy, isn't it?
Boat people.
You see there's the spelling mistake on fights in the roof, and then they changed it to rooftop fights, which might even still be a typo unless Lawrence made that typo there. I'm not sure.
Thanks for the follow.
Fights in the
Armadillo.
place. There's some really strange things, isn't there? Yanton apartment became apartments. That's one of the interesting ones. Is what's it called? The Dojang Diner is called something else in this game.
Yep.
I don't know if it's listed here.
I can't remember if it's listed here
Like
or not.
It's like Da Jing Diner. So they changed that as well for some reason.
Now, I am going to... Actually, someone's mentioned Mao Village. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop into... I'm going to reset it. Let me just pull this back up. Just pull my browser down a second. Unfortunately, and we should have disclosed this at the start, actually, Mao Village isn't on here, but the loading screen is. So I'll quickly show you that as well. I'm just sort of wary because I don't want to show too much off, because I want people to sort of explore the website, have a look around.
I mean, there's a lot to discover. There's a lot to contain. It's very hard to show all these subtle differences.
I think it's
without
SM00.
doing what we've done.
It's either 00 or... Yeah, see. You've got the loading screen here, and then it just crashes.
But again, this is on the final build, so...
Yeah, there's no files. There's nothing. There's nothing here, actually. So unfortunately, Rob Foz, before he shot his mouth off like the dickhead that he is, and is now eat a ban. A, you won't see this. and B, he's not going to see two really cool things. But you guys are, because you aren't knobheads. So, let's dive into a special build, which I think Lemon put together. If you're happy, James, for us to dive in.
Yeah, go for it, Matt.
Right, so let me just again set this up in the background. Stop. Let's start again. There's actually two special builds.
Very true. So after the stream, guys, when page is released, everything's released, you'll be able to download all the different builds.
All of it.
There's the there's the raw original build that you can just download. If you know how to burn it to discs or whatever for your own Dreamcast, if you want to play it through properly, you can do. And like I say, it's the full game of Shenmue 2 virtually. It's just between 3 to 9 months earlier than the final release. So a lot of cool things to discover. And then the build that Matt's about to show now, you can download.
This is a special build. I'm opening it to show one thing here. And this is quite cool. So you will have probably heard of the bike. So Shenmue 1, there was like, if you remember, bike. Shenmue 2, there are screenshots of a bike. Well, in the code, they have found the bike. However, it doesn't fully work.
Right, so I'll read off what Lemon's put on his document because that'll make it much more clearer. So he's written, immediately upon investigating the game code, I discovered some code which I'd never seen before. Unfortunately, this code is just a single function, which is never used by the game at all. And more importantly, it is a function which needs some data. So we had to figure out exactly what it needed in order to be able to try and see what it does. For a little while, this was put on the lower priority side of things as I went through the game code further and started picking off bigger, familiar pieces of code. Eventually, it became evident that I could provide the data it needed, but unfortunately, the first half of the code seemed to be doing of any interest. And then he's put the actual code there that he used. And then he says, with this amount of reversing, we've ready to try out the code. So I wrote a very simple event script which calls the function. When we press A on the controller, it spawns
There's
a
our
bicycle
bicycle.
there.
So we have a bicycle.
And what Laurent noticed as well on the actual model, there's no holes. There's these holes where Rio's feet would go.
Let's have a quick look.
So that kind of proves that it should be animated at some point.
Yeah, it's there, isn't it? So yeah, the bike is there, and I can create more bikes. If I create too many, it will crash. So bike.
So basically,
bike,
a caveat, like a caveat at that is obviously don't do too many, Matt.
There we go.
Like a caveat to that is obviously this build doesn't have a playable bike section.
No.
But it just means we're ever so slightly closer to being able to do something where we can in the future. So Lemon is still looking into how we can use this and maybe write his own script or whatever and reincorporate the bike back, and then this will stem into like different areas of Shenmue, really, into the Dragon and Phoenix collection. If ever down the line they want to incorporate bikes in that game, you know what I mean? They can do, as all these pieces of jigsaws sort of fall into place. You know, like I say, we're getting ever so slightly closer to getting the bike build back. Yeah, one step closer to the bike build.
Ever so slightly closer. It's great fun to see that, even if I did just crash it. Well, that was a bit of a deliberate thing.
No worries, Matt.
See how far I could push it. Now, the other thing that we have here, and we're sort of going to combine two things here. We're going to combine the ending of the game so we can show off some of the differences.
Yep.
And also a different build. But I'm not going to say anything else around the build until I've started it up. So let's just get this moving again. But this is a very special build. It made me chuckle seeing this, I must admit. So let me just run it.
I'll give the background info on this in a moment as well.
Get the code up for it. Okay. Right, so this build, I don't know how to describe it, so I'm just going to show you. Just make sure I've got my right coding there. Yeah, that's fine. So this is a special build. Very special
This
build.
is probably the highlight of the stream.
So, are you guys sat down? Are you ready to see this shit? Let me get Demule up.
Yeah, and obviously there's a lot of stuff we can't.
Now, who do you think that is? Also notice that Shenfire's like just walking away at this point, ignoring him.
Yeah,
So yes,
this bit's a little bit unfinished as well.
Yeah, the bit's unfinished. Let's just sort that out. There we are. But yeah, there is a model of Yu Suzuki in the game. I don't know why it's there.
Well, I'll give you a little bit of interesting
information.
information.
Background.
So basically, the team behind the scenes, they found a character model by the name of 356_, which had never been seen before in any of the currently released Shenmue 1 or 2 builds in existence. Once we took a look at the textures within the game files, we discovered the model and subsequently a lot of small differences in other textures too. So the Yu Suzuki model is interesting because its file name doesn't conform to the usual Shenmue naming conventions and thus exists in its own right. It also seems to have unique texture IDs. The model likely shows a lot of the flexibility that the artists had. The artists were able to create simplistic models and then add detail through subdividing the mesh further, resulting in a smoother model. This is a technique used even today in modern games development, so the fact that they had a fully working character model of Yu Suzuki himself isn't really that much of a surprise, given how easy it probably would have been for them to make it. So obviously they've tweaked with the character model there. You've got slightly larger legs and physique. I'm not sure if Yu Suzuki condoned the development of this model, or
So what we're
maybe this was what he always intended. He wanted himself to
doing here is sort of combining the end of the game and this model, because there's some differences here as well which I wanted to show.
Yeah, like the camera pans around the tree and stuff.
And again, I will show the video differences again in a minute.
Which you can do, yeah. You can have a full playthrough of Shenmue 2 playing as Yu Suzuki.
Yeah, you can legitimately play the whole game as Yu Suzuki.
Yeah. Let's just release it like this, he said.
It's so funny, like, some of this stuff. I love the camera pans, though, in some of the earlier builds. I don't know why. Please do a fight is...
Change the baby to Yu Suzuki.
Oh, the audio's not coming through. There should be audio.
Definitely, or is it
something you're playing up? Let me just resample it. Bear with me.
Oh, that's another change as well. They hadn't actually done the watermelon scene in that QT market fight. So it's the whole QT sequence, but there's just no watermelon thing happening. It's hilarious, isn't it?
Oh, Demule's having a bit of a fit. Let me just see if I can sample.
It is, isn't it? Cheap. It is proper.
Audio back in.
Well created model. Here you go, there's a different camera pan around the tree. That's what kind of makes discovering these builds so exciting, because you don't know what you're going to find.
There you go, you should have audio now, guys.
The
camera pans are brilliant.
Audio confirmed, good stuff. Yeah, when you see the comparison, you'd be surprised like why they changed some of these cutscenes. Some of the camera pans, unless it's just seeing something like through fresh eyes, but some of them look pretty good, I thought.
So Big Mort, the link will be coming out at the end of the stream, so don't worry, we will put the link in the chat for everybody so you can see it.
I mean, I can give you the link. I don't see the reason why I can't give you the link now.
It just might be password
but
protected.
it is
because Lauren will launch it when he's ready.
So if you want that link to hand for after the end of the stream. Even this cutscene's slightly different as well.
Will we be publicising the Suzuki secret? Well, I don't see why not. Yeah, it will be password protected until Lauren releases it. So that link will work, and the password will be removed later, probably by the end of the stream for everybody.
You have to have a look at your photo album.
I'll have a look,
I can't see that being the case,
no,
but
I can't. That'd be funny as hell.
I'm not sure if we checked that. Yeah. Like I say, I don't know if this is because you always wanted to be Rio, or...
I can't take this scene. I can't take this seriously now.
It's hilarious how it was all Shenmue's emotional backstory, and then it pans.
You see, if people hang around, don't act like knobheads. They get to see nice things. You get nice things.
That's the thing, man. I mean, it's quite hard to plan a stream like this because you've got so many different elements, and we're quite careful of like what we want to show.
And also, I mean, I got the build on Monday. I had 2 hours with it on Monday, and I've had literally an hour before stream. So I haven't had long with it.
Look at him holding the cup. Hand on his leg. So casual.
So I'm going to play the game to the end like this, because there are subtle differences when you get to the cave and other bits and pieces as well. So
yeah,
I will sort of speed through it a little bit.
The ending in particular is quite interesting.
Yeah, the ending's really interesting. So I need to import Suzuki into the HD re-releases. That'd be quite funny, actually. I reckon it's doable, you know.
So can you still investigate around a little bit, Matt? Can you?
I would imagine so. I'll give it a go, shall I?
And I think Lemon was saying that now this is a thing, he can use this model and incorporate it into, say, Shenmue 1 as well, if you wanted Yu Suzuki in Shenmue 1.
Yes, so the scenes do work. There you go.
Yeah. Quite tall, actually, isn't he?
Do you reckon he knows it's in the game, Yu Suzuki?
That's the thing, I don't know.
Love the clip, Vader. That's brilliant.
Is this something he'd want to be lost to the sands of time, do you think? Or
I don't know.
He never thought would get out?
Well, he'll know now. I'll have a look at the inventory actually very quickly while Spags has mentioned it.
Hopefully we're not getting any like game developer in trouble here. Like they made a model just for a bit of a piss take back in the day and didn't ever intend anyone to see it.
Phoenix Mirror, yes, this has been dumped. It is ready to go. There is a link in the chat. It will come up again later. It's password protected at the moment, but at the end of the stream, this build, so build without the debug menu build, the Yu Suzuki build, and the bike build will all be available to download.
Yep.
So don't you worry. This has been dumped. This has been dumped. This has been saved. This is there for everybody to see. What happened to his face? That is Yu Suzuki's face, Phoenix Mirror.
We've got a question that I highlighted. Would you be able to highlight the Yuan chainsaw QTs in the stream when you get a chance?
Give it a go.
We can find a code for that, yeah.
Right, let's get to the end of the game. Hey Sonic, by the way.
もう少し
I
待ってて
don't
ね
think Hidden Palace were involved in this, but I could be making that up in fairness. So we're going to go to the end of the game, and then I'll try the chainsaw QTE.
Yep.
りょう座って
I still can't take this seriously. What's going on here?
これくらいしかできなかったけど、
いやうまそうだ
たくさん食べてね
Are you able to get to that chainsaw thing, Matt? Or do you need a file?
There's a save file for
こ
it.
の肉
I
は
could do with
Yeah.
it.
Usagi.
That'd be handy.
え
裏山に罠を仕掛けて取ったの
そうか
美味しいでしょ
ああそうだな
Bro. Okay, we've got it.
Beautiful. I'll grab it in a minute. We'll get to the end of the game.
Here's that, Safrad.
Yeah, Mal Village only has the loading screen. I did
ゆっ
show
く
it
り
off
くつろいでい
earlier.
てこの家のどこでも
Which is a shame. I mean,
ありがとう
I don't want to write it out completely.
父が
Someone
こ
might
の
be able to
辺りで
find
集めた
something
もの
that
があるからよかっ
we
たら
weren't
見て
able
い
to
て
find. I don't know, but
ああそうする
there's loads of differences. It is worth, if you're a fan of Shenmue 2, grabbing this build and
Yeah, just sit down
experimenting.
and have a look. There's so much to show. Like, we'd be streaming all night, wouldn't we?
Shenmue 4 Space different? Could be as well. Early model Jibby.
That is
これ
Yu
は
Suzuki. Yes, it is. Let's get. Well, that's
We did
running.
think, I don't know if we ever confirmed it, but we were debating whether the actual Rio model is the Shenmue 1 Rio. No, they changed his model slightly for Shenmue 2.
Same 同じだこの図面は
古くから
Anime
この
flashbacks.
家に伝わってるって父から聞いたわでもそれ以上のことは何も話してくれなくてりょうこの鏡は一体
昔親父に託されたものだと聞いた
りょうのお父さんに
Would well be Big Mori. Or Big Mort, sorry.
この石はハッカソンでしか取れない塔が
Like I say,
玉
what
石
the best way of doing this is if you can like play 2 games at
どうして
once.
この鏡だったの
So you've got the actual build,
Well,
like the final released game, and
父なら
I'm sure you'd see a
何か
lot
知ってい
more
るかもし
things.
れない
お父さんは今どこに
石切り場にいるわそこで塔が緑石を
どこにあるんだ
ここから一つ山を越えたところにあるの何かを完成させると言って
Hmm.
もう何日
I don't
も
mean
石
finish
切り場
one
に
yet.
こもりきりなの
俺をそこへ案内してくれ
明日の朝食事を届けに行くからその時一緒に
PDTG.
わかった
Okay.
Lawrence chucked code in as well. Just note that down. I'll give it a go.
Yeah, for sure, Matthew. Yeah, those 2 are the holy grails of Shenmue history, aren't they? Really.
Yeah, I mean,
Look at this Yu Suzuki.
it's hard to take it seriously. It really is. Like, I'm just sat here going, fuck it, what?
It is amazing though to play with the guy that, you know, this is his creation. So I mean, it's fitting, very fitting.
Shenmue 2 Troll Edition.
あ、りょうおはよ
おはよ
う今お弁当の準備をしてい
Yeah,
る
the
の
Saturn version's
もう
the
少し待
holy
ってて
grail. Massively.
Yeah, and then second to that is probably like the build that had the Meow Village on.
お待
Yeah.
たせ父のところへ行き
And
ましょう
あ
I think it was on Phantom Riverstone, suggested like a bike journey to it.
Hence the bike stuff, which we've already shown.
Yeah.
Oh, and a good quality version of the Shenmue Premiere video. I'm told one exists, but I don't know where the fuck it is. I'd like it, because I'd have it and preserve it.
You can play the whole game with Yu Suzuki model, Retro Godfather, yeah.
Yeah, the whole game.
We just skipped to the end because we wanted to show off the ending scene as well.
It was just a good opportunity for us to combine the two together, really, wasn't it? Shenmue Online. I'm convinced Shenmue Online has a beta out there because it was open.
It was at some point, so someone must have downloaded it and played it. And then you've got the Shenmue City stuff that was actually released in Japan for a year at least, was it?
Yeah, it was about a year. So Phoenix Mirror, this was an actual model they made for the game, and then the guys who have put this, ripped all this and done all the work, have put it into the game, have got it working.
Yeah, so basically the mod, the model was in the files, but obviously you can't access it by legitimate means. So Lemon Haze has basically created a new build of the game where the model just replaces Rio, so everyone can just play it.
Yeah, there's no
Probably
voices.
No voices either, yeah.
Yeah, it's just symptomatic of it being a beta. Not all the voices have been implemented yet.
So I don't know if you were here at the start, but we were saying a lot of like the major cutscenes have got voices, and in some places, a lot of the cutscenes almost sound like not Matsukaze. It could be like the game devs have recorded their own voices to some of the cutscenes just to give I mean,
it's the fact they're talking in chat about respect to the team, and absolutely, because this could have ended up in some dude's cupboard and never seen the light of day. So, or
at least picked apart like this.
Yeah,
like this has been picked apart.
This is accessible to the entire community now. The entire community can do what they want with it. They can pick it apart. They can search for things that the guys haven't necessarily found to your heart's content. And this is a vital part of Shenmue history that we've got right here.
Yeah, I can't hear at the moment Spin 5, so that one might be. But there's definitely some cutscenes where the interaction with the characters, it doesn't sound like the original voice actors. There might even be a cutscene when you're in the cave, actually thinking about it, that sounds... Was it the last cutscene, Matt, where...
Possibly. We'll get there in a bit.
Possibly, yeah. But I will, again, let's give a few shout-outs to some of the teams. So you've got Safarad, Lemon Haze, Enichi, Laurent, of course, and Switch.
Yeah.
And we've got Jerome Ferron for the correction of the French text. I guess that's on the document here. I'm just reading from a list here. Flying around my face.
So, Facundo, you've catch it all up on the VOD, but essentially what we're playing right now is the end of Shenmue 2 with the Yu Suzuki model, which was found in the beta of GameJam, which the team have implemented into the game and got working. I can't take this shit seriously, it's just funny. Like one of the most epic scenes in gaming.
And it's not just the face, it's everything. Yeah, there's even like the spot of hair on the back of his head. The gel, the way it's gelled, it's very typical Yu Suzuki, isn't it?
Forest
like they modelled his hair and everything.
Oh, that's another one, isn't it? The Forest demo. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's got to be in the Sega vaults.
Hey Idris, you're right.
We'll be around for a little while. Yeah, Idris, a little while longer anyway. So we're going to play the end of this and then I'm going to try a couple of scenes. Getting a bit of slowdown here. Wait.
I guess that the only reason is just because, obviously, I don't know, he's not got the physique that Ryo Azuki has, I guess. But like I say, it could just be a troll, a game dev prank that hopefully, like I say, we're not getting anyone in trouble for. Could you check your photo album, Matt? I don't know if you did that.
I did. I only had 2 photos in it, and it's Rio, not Yu Suzuki.
Rio, okay. Bird still missing, yeah.
You can sort of see there, like the clipping and stuff isn't quite right here either. I do think Daniel's probably having a bit of a moment as well. But
いつもここに食事を持ってくるの。お父さん、お父さん。
that says that's different. That pitch of her saying father to the release, it's higher
どうしたの
pitched.
かしら。いつもならすぐ出てくるのに。奥を見てくる。
行こ
And that's a different voice there as well. That wasn't Matsukaze.
Yeah, I can't hear it, but I know what you're saying. I think it was very different. I think it was unfinished. So do you know what I mean? I like how it sounds like maybe that the devs or whatever.
They probably just filled it in for the benefit of the build, haven't they? And then
Yeah. Also on that web page that you'll get to in a, you know, when the actual thing's released, there's some subtle music differences as well. So there's a few areas of this, like some of the music that they changed between this version and
yeah,
the final release, if that's of interest to you guys as well, like music.
yeah, that voice is slightly off as well.
おかしい。
Makes you wonder if they got to record right.
Just like some randomer off the street, they dump in Yu Suzuki's van, record this, get out.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me, mate,
確か
after what we've heard.
Oh, I
この
know.
奥に扉が。
う。この奥に。
That's not Matsukaze again.
こっちよ。
So this is where it gets interesting again. You can see something quite different now.
Yes, we are. This I found. I was lucky to see this sort of behind the scenes, but I was, yeah. This is going to be interesting. Not just because of the model, but there's some really nice differences here.
Especially because of the model.
Oh yeah, of course.
これか。
Can you see the moves list and the other items built? I'll have a look for you when it lets me play the game again. I'll have a look.
この向こうには何が。
わからない。父は一度も中に入れてくれなかった。
But just for the benefit of the new guys in chat, this will all be downloadable from the link that James put in there a bit later again, so everybody's got it. It is workable on a normal Dreamcast, so if you can burn your own discs, you can do it that way. If you've got GDMU or some other method to boot games, you can put it on there, and it will work on original hardware as well as the emulation, which I'm running on Daniel right now. So, to your heart's content, guys, really.
Such a beautiful release, really, to be fair. Being able to see all these differences and go back in time a little bit.
It's just preservation, gaming preservation. It's yeah, it's a lost art form in some respects.
Especially for the fans.
And loads of stuff gets destroyed or lost. I mean, you think of like the source code to Panzer Dragon Saga, for example, that got lost.
見て。
Some things, man, I mean, imagine, I know a lot of people didn't realise there was a Yu Suzuki model, but, you know, now you do know. Imagine if that got lost.
I know. Right, let's quickly, for Phoenix Mirror's benefit, so, yeah, so you can see the move lists and everything here. They're all really low, actually. They're just default low. But you can see, look at him do his moves. That is quite funny.
It's a pisser, isn't it? It's like I say, you can play the whole game as Yu Suzuki, so...
Oh, yeah, that's quality. Right, let's catch this up.
Love
Oh,
it.
you wanted the inventory as well, didn't you? So yes, I can sort of look at the watch, and look at that, look at the mirror. See, that's all there as well. You see, and the whole game is
sure.
fully playable, like as Yu Suzuki or as Rio in a separate build. It is completely playable. So
Yeah, retro Godfather. It wouldn't surprise me, mate. Get a
Someone's
Shenmue
probably
2
doing it
cover,
right
but just
now.
have Yu Suzuki, yeah, Yu Suzuki on it, and then print it off and shove it on Etsy or whatever people do. $29.99.
but you see Shenfire just fly off into the background.
Oh shit! Yeah, I've just seen it.
Zoom. Here we go, guys. The final. Hey, flag.
A flag. Thanks for joining us, man. So one of the differences here was the note is like really tiny for some reason.
Yeah, look, it's like half the fucking size.
お父さんの字だわ。
Still got a full big sword though, so it wasn't like it was
私の役目は終わ
Shenmue
っ
3's
た。
dagger.
我ら一族に託されし法王が今
Yeah, maybe sheep. Maybe the sword was supposed to be the small thing and the note was supposed to be the big.
シェンファイアかの法王を携えし者とその証を確かめるのだ。そしてその者に身を委ねよ。共に行くがよい。お前にカデンの七聖剣を
That's a different voice.
その剣を私と思い
Obviously the writing on the note's
つける
different.
がいい。私はいつもお前を見守っている。
They hadn't like finished all the
七
lines.
聖剣。
Oh, it's so good.
法王を携えし者。
I'm so glad this is a
その
thing.
証を確かめる。
その証って
It's so weird hearing like the devs doing this shit.
きっとここに何か手がかりがあるはず。
Mm.
シェンファー探してみよう。
Like it sounds like they're just recording it in a random room and gone, yeah, we'll record that.
Doesn't it? It's like very, Ruby. Low quality as well.
Right, so where the fuck do I go?
Oh, see the mirror
Yeah, you
glowed
can
a bit then when you got near
yeah,
it.
just over there. So you can see the mirrors loading in. Where bloody hell do I go?
You have to go up the stair thing, don't you? Put the sword in the
Where's the fucking
pedestal.
stair? Am I going mad? Where the fuck are the stairs?
There? Maybe? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, around there, isn't it? Normally. To the left of the Phoenix mirror.
I must be going left. I've lost the plot. Ah, there we are. Got around the other side. Idiot.
That was it, yeah. I was going to say, Matt, I thought this was your favourite game.
It's been a long day. See, look, the background isn't finished.
This is weird, isn't it, this?
And again, it's cheap.
量
It's like bootleg
They got out in
voices.
K-Vision. They were obviously just testing, weren't they, at this stage?
Yeah.
For how they wanted the game to finish. Human.
Oh dear.
量
It's so weird they haven't finished the cave here, isn't it?
Oh, I don't know. Did you think they just got rid of the roof for the scene because it was glitching or something? This is different now, guys, as well.
Yeah, look at that coming up out the ground, sort of.
Quite ominous, isn't it? That's a bit scary looking. Like a Dalek. Dalek or something popping out the ground.
It's weird. I actually think I prefer that, you know.
That model of the mirror holder thing.
Yeah.
It looks like a... I don't know. I know it looks a bit more realistic, I guess, in the game. That looks like the whole thing's made of Phantom Riverstone,
It
doesn't
does,
it?
doesn't it? The whole thing's been made together. And it's got like the carvings of the phoenix on it.
なんだ
Yeah. Really nice, actually, don't you?
りょう
And then those 4 dots, I'm not sure what they were.
No idea.
Pressure points, maybe? You have to press all 4
Yeah,
with the mirror.
possibly. Yeah, the cave's finished here. It's weird, isn't it?
But not for that previous thing, yeah.
There goes the sword.
Magnets, yeah.
りょう
Yeah, that could be the reason. Sticks out too much, maybe? I don't know.
The sound's slightly off here, actually, as well.
Any major changes in One Child Kowloon? A lot of them are like very subtle changes, like I say, like the signage and objects, maps, things of that nature. Pop in, there's a lot more pop in and
Fuck's
textures
sake.
and stuff.
Daniel's just crashed on me.
No, I think it does. I don't
does
think
it?
there is an ending.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. That's okay then.
I don't know if it crashes, but when Laurent was doing it, he was
Right.
there's no credits, so
Might be why then. Right, so let me quickly restart that off. And I'll have a
but
go
like
at
that
disc 3.
it just shows you where they were at, the stage of development.
Config GD-ROM. GameJam debug menu. Oh no, wrong one. Don't. Oh yeah, I do want the debug menu.
So
Idiot.
just explain it for Alan Holman that's just arrived in the chat there. So basically, this GameJam beta, it's a prototype release from early 2001. And it was demonstrated at an actual gaming convention event place called GameJam back in 2001. So this was like maybe 3 to 9 months before the finished version of Shenmue 2 was there. So there's a lot of differences regarding like the development what stage of development they were at. So if you just watch that scene there, how voices hadn't been finished. Obviously the final cutscene hadn't been finished, but the full game is playable. You'll be able to download it. Matt said it a few times now, but there's a few versions. There's just the raw version, like the prototype version that you pop in your Dreamcast or whatever and you can play, or through an emulator. Then there's the debug menu version that Matt's got on the screen at the moment, where you can type in a code and jump straight to a location if you like, if you don't want to play through it properly. And then there's the Yu Suzuki version that we just been playing as well, are you still using the Yu Suzuki thing for this? Seen that? Standard one, yeah. So like I say, you've got the Yu Suzuki build, and then you've got a build that just demonstrates that bike functionality. Matt is muted. Or can barely hear your voice. Yeah, no worries, Alan. Hopefully you could hear me. Oh, Ren's face looks a bit different there as well. So Phoenix Mirror, if you can hear us okay, the bike is kind of in the game, but it's not playable. They've just you can spot. you can spawn the model of the bike, which is a lot further along than where we were at. No bike. At least you can actually have the bike. You just can't ride it at the moment. Oh, you can hear me loud and clear. Okay, Matt's muted. Maybe it's like some sort of audio thing you did. Sorry, yeah. Apologies for this, guys. He's I can hear him, that's why. I can hear Matt talking, but obviously you guys can't. So it must have taken over his audio or something, I don't know. Just let us know as soon as you can hear Matt, let us know, just in case it's something he's actually doing at the... I'll explain it again while Matt's fixing his thing, but it's basically a prototype
1, 2,
release
test.
of Shenmue 2.
Can anyone hear me?
You working now?
Find out. It says it is. There we go.
Fixed. There you go, fixed.
Fucking no idea why that did that, because it had a line.
What's going on with Rio's back? Is it just shading or looks a bit odd?
Right.
Must have been the shadow.
Shall we
Bollocks
to it?
Yeah, so
let's get the Suzuki build up. I'm gonna play this scene in Suzuki mode. Because why the hell not?
Chainsaw.
Yeah, why the hell not? And then I'll close this off. Well, at least you can hear me now. I don't know why it did that.
Don't know, mate.
It's just weird. Okay. Run Dreamcast.
Suzuki mode makes the game 10 times better. It was already the greatest game ever made as well, son. So yeah, I was explaining it again. I mean, I've been explaining it quite a few times, but it's basically a prototype build that was created to demonstrate the progress of the game at the time at GameJam 2001. So it's roughly 3 to 9 months before being actually released, Shenmue 2 in Japan, and this is where they were at. Very close to, quite close to release. Really, there's just still a lot of things that they had to iron out and a lot of changes that they made.
So this is just to show that it's legit, that the Suzuki model will work in-game.
Anywhere,
anywhere that you like.
I'm sure this is going to be all over the internet now anyway, so... Does this version allow the data carry from the first game? I mean, it's a Japanese build, so if you're playing the first game, like Shenmue 1 Japanese version, potentially.
Game sounds a bit light. That's because the game sounds pissed up again. Let me fix that. Daniel's having a fucking fit tonight.
Some great meme potential. But yeah, Ren's model's definitely older. Yeah, that's true, S-Cutton. Like if Yu Suzuki, he's kind of mellowed out a little bit, so he probably doesn't mind this model being out everywhere. Apparently,
made a good point.
Stafford says, yeah, save files from this are not compatible with the final game. Oh, made from this version, yeah, okay. Did you ever figure out if you could transfer your save over from an original Shenmue 1 Japanese version, Safarad? I suppose it'd have to be completed game.
So here we go.
Apparently game is bare loud now.
I suppose it's fucking around. That should be better, guys. Apologies for the volume. It's Demiel not getting sampled properly by OBS. This is where they can't hear me now, probably as well.
Can you hear Matt now? Just make sure. It's fine, man.
That's good. Yeah.
Real good. Cool.
The joys of OBS. Ooh, hole in the floor. Is that a hole in the floor? Yeah, it is.
Is that the one Donu made?
Must be.
Oh, thanks, Frankie. We do them on purpose, to be fair, just to do that, to increase the charm. Honest.
Can we import the debug menu to Shenmue HD? I don't know. Lemon would know that. Am I going mad?
Use a hitch. Yeah, it doesn't seem like the cutscene's triggering, does it?
No, I can't actually get to it because there's a hole in the ground.
Oh yeah. Laurent in the chat says try step 45.
Let's see if I can get it to work. So I'm just looking at the controls, so I've got to do it on my keyboard.
Well, thanks, James Fat. Says it's best stream he's seen in years. Glad someone's happy, at least.
Alright, let's do these steps. What button's it to move the steps along again? Just so while I look at my controls, I can't remember off the top of my head.
Is it the up and down arrows?
It might be, in fairness. E and Q.
Thank you. I heard that as well, Jib.
So I'm trying to work this out on the fly because I can't remember.
I think Matt is using the fourth port, aren't you, to
I am.
even to build it, bring it up in the first
Yeah,
place?
so I've got my keyboard as the fourth port, but I can't move it. See, I can do that.
You still in the chat, Laurent? How do you increase the step again? Or Saffrad? Oh, and that's another thing, you can save anywhere with that. I suppose you can anyway with the... Oh, you've done something, Matt.
Yeah, I don't know what the bloody hell I've done, but I've done something. To hell with this.
Yeah, I was thinking left and right trigger, but I don't know what that would be on the keyboard. What would that be on the
It's
keyboard?
E and
It's
Q.
whatever you set it.
Yeah, so I've got the... See, that's left trigger. That's right trigger. So that works. Ah, fucking what? I must have done something.
I know what you mean. That's cutting in what in Shenmue 3.
Bollocks
Just
to it. I'll worry about it
haven't-
later.
You guys, like I say, you guys can have a play around with this stuff.
Yeah.
As soon as Lauren.
Null DC was a
For this
pain in
game.
the arse. It wouldn't work properly when I tried to use it, believe it or not.
Yeah, I mean, I used Demol fine for playing through the build. This build works fine. Flycast, I'm not sure. I've just always used Demol personally. I know you use
I use Redream
Null
quite
DC
a lot.
and stuff, right? And Redream, yeah.
Let me just check
A few
something.
people are saying Flycast.
Let me just check on the website. Make sure I'm not being an idiot.
Yeah. That's why I always remember that Null DC. That's why I stopped using Null DC because of the the see-through hair glitches
Left
and
or
stuff.
right on the directional pad?
That as well,
Up or
Frankie.
down,
Yeah.
or decrease or increase it by. Okay. So I was doing it right, apparently. It's not letting me increase the step at all.
You can tell we're not game hackers, eh?
Yeah.
A and B, maybe?
Yeah, I'm on. So I can do flags. Look, see, it works.
YouTube spam bot here. Don't click on that link, guys. Whatever you do.
Can someone drop in and get rid of that, please?
Yeah, doing it.
Bastard.
What's your plan?
Right, I'll leave that there because it's not working properly. But it gives us actually a natural finishing point for the stream as well. So I'm going to shove the link in the chat for everybody right now. So this will be going live shortly, and this is where all the information is. This is where you can download everything. So the non-debug version, the debug version, and the Yu Suzuki version, plus also the bike version that I showed off very quickly earlier. There is a raft of content in here. Quite frankly,
Say audio, screenshots, guys, comparing everything, videos.
ban someone quick.
There is right at the bottom, Matt. Lauren did a. I don't know if it's right at the bottom,
I'm gonna go and kill.
but a
that
little bit
bot.
further up from that. Right at the bottom, didn't I? Or is there another one? Yeah, there's another video, Matt, just a little bit up from the bottom. That's a good compilation of Yu Suzuki and cutscenes.
Right, let me.
It's pretty cool.
Oh, I can't be bothered to read. Shenmue Sinkers, find your lucky hit.
Did we get them?
Yeah, I've zapped the fuckers. They're gone.
Cool.
It will ask you for a password because it hasn't been released just yet, but it will be released in the coming sort of hours, basically. But I want to give people the link first and foremost. I won't restart the chat. There's no bloody point. Because I can't be asked to sit and try and delete the fuckers. I'll be there for hours. So there's
There's
no.
the link again, guys, in case you missed it within the spam there. But
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he's going to tweet it out in a moment. Laurent, if you're there, man, check out his Twitter, which I will give a link to as well.
So while James is
here
doing
we go,
that,
guys. There's the Twitter link there.
And you've got the website here. So this is what it all looks like. It's got a load of the history. Talks about Project Berkeley, the Dreamcast, some early modelling here. Obviously, James's Landy sculptures there. Improved
It's an insane write up, to be honest. Yeah.
Do you know, it's the first time we've actually been botted in chat.
Yeah, it's just a YouTube. I think that there's something going on with YouTube at the moment. I've heard a few people mention about bots that you can't stop. So it's a YouTube side of thing, that is.
Yeah, I'll look into restream with that later. And then you've got, obviously, I'm scooting through this very, very quickly. But there's
a lot to look through.
So much stuff that you can look through here. It's massive. And it's an absolute credit to the team who obviously managed to buy this fucking thing for a start and preserve it and dump it. And then going through, look, there's so much stuff here. Differences. It's mad. It's absolutely mad, the amount of stuff that's here.
Definitely. So again, we'll shout them all out. So you've got your Laurent, Lemon Haze, Safarad, Inichi, and myself, and Switch for additional expertise and stuff like that.
They're all
there. You go, right at the bottom. There you go.
All there at the bottom for everybody to see. But yeah, I hope everybody's enjoyed that. It's a whistle stop tour. As I said, there's a shitload for people to look at.
See. Yeah.
So hopefully we've given you guys a good flavour of what was there. For those of you who stuck around and didn't lose their shit. Not naming names or anything.
No, it doesn't happen very often, man. But
Nah, fuck it. I don't
it's
give
a
a
bit
shit.
disheartening at the time. But
Oh, fuck
hopefully we did an okay job of demonstrating that.
Yeah.
Like I say, there's a lot to get through, a lot of subtle differences that we can't possibly just go around showing. It was much easier to go through the web page like that because it's all there for you to see. And obviously the Yu Suzuki thing. Hopefully that's when the stream picked up a bit.
Yeah. So, guys, this like I say, this will be available, very very shortly. Download your heart's content. If people discover new things that the team haven't discovered, post it on our forums, post it on social media, tag us because we want to know that where this stuff is, where this stuff's coming from. Because I mean, this shit's been found. What else is out there? We don't know, do we? So it's an exciting time for Shenmue fans. I think this just adds to the raft of history that the community have managed to get hold of and keep safe. So,
and if nothing, it just sparks some interesting conversation, doesn't it? Really, what was at one point in time, and what we ended up with obviously in the final build of Shenmue 2, various differences and stuff. Just like you say, it's a nice history piece though. That there's the actual disc, so
it's mad, isn't it?
There on screen, it is crazy.
So there's the discs as well for everybody to see.
And there'll have been so many different builds on discs like this throughout the years that have just been lost
and destroyed.
So whenever you can, reclaim something of historical significance like this and just release it to the public like we are doing, yeah. Yu Suzuki. Do you want to watch that video, Matt? Well, not. You don't have to watch the whole thing, but there's some funny bits and pieces in that video.
Let's watch this video and then we'll round ourselves off.
Yeah. So this is a taster of some of the stuff that you can get away with, guys. If you download the Yu Suzuki build and burn it to a disc or whatever you do for play a Dreamcast game, pop it in your Dreamcast.
You can't use like full game builds for this, unfortunately.
Right, a Coke here.
$4 there, not $5.
There you go, another little change. The don't know if you saw the red mirrors on the Joy bike as well. Inflation.
Well, yeah. Fuck me.
The legend himself. There's your meme material, sheephead. Drinking a Coke, that's what we've always dreamed of, innit, Yu Suzuki? Takes me back to that live stream with Joel Tess.
Oh, bloody hell.
Fanta grape.
This is quite. I love this. Actually, this video is quite a good selection of how, it legitimately can be played the entire way through.
Yeah. Look at his head, twitching.
So, Dalvec, they found a Yu Suzuki model in the game and have then got it working.
Yeah.
So you can
there's
play...
the mod textureless helicopter. Mandy's clipping through the ladder a little bit. The stare down.
Oh dear. Stepping off the boat.
Languish on.
Oh dear, this is brilliant, just seeing this. Oh, now he's going to do some Tai Chi.
That's a good idea, Sheep.
Oh, we've got thunder here. Jesus Christ. Oh dear.
Perfect, isn't it?
This is like a beta test area of Beverly Hills Wharf as well.
Yeah, so there's a code. I don't know. It probably is on
It's
that
on the
page
website.
somewhere, but there's a code. Yeah, where you can area spawn into this. This is on the disc as well. This was found in a previous build, but
Yeah,
it's
the
just nice seeing it again.
unreleased USA build, wasn't it? There is also, which it's on the website as well. They actually found a screen to boot the 70-man battle in Shenmue 2 and a time attack mode. But in the code, it doesn't boot anything. The code didn't come across, so they may well have had an idea to bring that across as part of the game's, I don't know, for playability or something. But that's another cool thing that Lemon found.
Yeah, and one thing we were speaking to Lemonade about with that is if he can just copy the code over to incorporate that into Shenmue 2. Imagine having time attack mode of, you know, maybe a 70-man brawl through Hong Kong, Aberdeen, you know, maybe I suggested like a battle rally kind of mode to him.
That'd be cool.
Where you just different sections of Shenmue 2, maybe like a Kowloon segment, a Forest of Guilin map or something.
Fucking hell. Oh, this is the bad ending, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is the bad ending, yeah. I reckon Yu Suzuki could have Landy.
Yeah.
Awesome stuff.
Oh dear. Right, that's probably a good note for us to wrap things up on that point, guys. As I say, it will be available to download very shortly. I'm going to shove the link in chat again. It may still be password protected, but it will be coming down soon, so just keep trying. All the builds are there. You've got the Yu Suzuki build, you've got the standard build, the debug build, and then a bit further up here you've got the bike build as well. So, yeah,
and we'll tweet this out as well. Oh, it's live apparently.
It's live. There you go, guys. Get in there, download it, enjoy yourselves.
So yeah, read all the information on the website there. Download whichever version of the game you want.
And enjoy yourselves. It's a piece of Shenmue history. Thank you to the team, obviously, for all the work and also allowing us to release this as part of the stream. It's a pleasure, absolute pleasure to be able to sort of play this for you guys and show you guys around. I was really excited about getting my hands on this. As I say, I had it on Monday for a couple of hours, messing about, and I had about an hour with it before stream. There's loads for you guys to go and see. Make sure you take your time, have a look around it, because it's a good piece of Shenmue history. But on that bombshell, it's going to be a goodbye from me. And James has gone.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I was just reading the chat there. I was trying to work out what S. Cutting was on about. I remember Jim mercilessly slamming those buttons and swearing under his breath.
Oh, no eyes.
What's that for? I don't know. But yeah, it's a goodbye from me, guys. Thanks for coming and thanks for sticking around for the latter stages of the last 2 hours.
Yeah.
It's good stuff.
And we will be back on June the 4th for hashtag Let's Get Shenmue 4, hashtag Shenmue Anime 2 stream. So yeah, catch us for that.
James. What's that for?
Oh, a premiere.
Like a podcast thing.
Yeah, we haven't got anything running yet. We're having a little break.
Nothing this week, no. Yeah, nothing this week.
So, on that note, guys, we'll see you on the 4th. Have a good rest of the week. Keep an eye out on our social media. If there's any more discoveries around this build, let us know. Likewise, I'm sure we'll be doing the same. And take care of yourselves. And we'll always go out, get your saxophones ready. You know what you're doing by now. Goodbye,
Thanks, everyone. Take care.
Take care.
All the best.
"撫でて通り過ぎる へつながるほど潮の香り運ぶよ愛しさが優しい嘘つかせる前に寂しさを今抱いてほしいのに I wish you were always be here with me いくつの夜を越えても込み上げる切なさは行くあてもないままで Don't leave me alone till morning still we see この胸は揺れてるけどまだ帰りたくない星が消えるまでもう少し巡る季節の中で流されそうになった時もきっとこの気持ちだけ甘い香り残すよ背中から聞いたこと泣きたくなった祈りにも似た想い抱きしめて I wish you were always be by my side いくつの夜を越えても眠れずに膝を抱え寂しさ持て余すだけ Don't leave me alone You see my feelings high 変わらない強い瞳でも戻らないことわかっているからもう少しIf you will always be by my side There is no sorrows and tears in my eyes Can't live without you Why do you have to decide You won't be anywhere on my face and life Don't leave me alone Stay with me But I know you don't look goodbye I remember you foreverいつか見た夢のように頬を撫でて通り